Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dragonforce coding episode. And then today I will use Python to do some coding, specifically use Python to analyze the data. Uh, so in my opinion, as you probably know, I think Python is a very convenient, very powerful language built for that can be used for data analysis. Normally, I think a lot of people, including me, sometimes use statistical software. For example, we have Minitab, right? Something like that. Uh, First of all, Minitab, like this type of software, it's very, yeah, they are good. However, I think first of all, they are not free, right? You have to subscribe to it, and sometimes you even need a license or something. Uh, and then they are not necessarily easy to use because those interfaces are kind of hard to navigate, in my opinion. So I think it's probably not the best option for me. I don't know about you. I know everyone has their own preference. Um, and another option, of course, is GDC. If you went to high school, most of you probably know GDC, right? Texas Instrument, right? Yeah, but obviously, like those buttons on GTC calculators, they are extremely hard to navigate as well, just like those software that you have on your computer. But Python, yes, it's not UI, right? It's code, but just with few lines of code, they are not necessarily hard to type. And then, based on my opinion, it's faster to produce a statistical value than those software or the calculators. So I think Python for me is the best option. And plus, it's more flexible, and most importantly, it's free. These packages are free. Uh, so now let me talk about these packages I'm going to use today for the data analysis. Uh, NumPy is NumPy is for numerical and basic mathematical operation. For example, uh, finding the sum or finding the standard deviation of certain array. So it must be stored in the data must be stored in an array format so that you can use NumPy to analyze it. Pandas is more user friendly. Okay, it's built on top of NumPy. Um, it's more user friendly because sometimes we store data in a CSV format, and CSV format, if you use Excel, you most likely download it in a CSV format. Uh, and then you can use pandas to analyze the data in a CSV format file directly. NumPy does not allow you to do that, but pandas does. So basically the same operations, but more user friendly. Matplotlib is for data visualization. Sometimes it's much better if you have a visualization, especially if you write a report, right, in a real life practical scenario. We need graph, we need different graph and plot to visualize the data. CP, I think, is more advanced. Not necessarily advanced, but yeah, I think it incorporates more statistical and scientific method. For example, finding the p-value or finding the correlation between two variables, like right? Those scientific methods. Maybe a CP might be useful in fields like engineering, right, or natural science, like biology or something. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So these are the packages I will use today for my data analysis. And this is the data set I got from Kaggle.com. By the way, Kaggle.com is a very good platform that you can get free open data set. Okay. And then there are tons of data sets there for you to analyze. And you can see this is a fast food sales record in a certain period of time. You can see here are the different columns, and different row represent each transaction during this period. And it must be noticed that I did modify this data set because I added this row. I added some meaningless values. You can see none here. These values are meaningless. Why did I do that? Because I want to show the process of cleaning the data. Like, for example, if you notice that the first objective today is to clean the data, drop the meaningless value, and here are the meaningless value. And then I want to let the program to automatically identify the meaningless value and drop them from this data set so that it provides the ground for us to uh, for our later data analysis. Yeah. Okay, so after introducing the first objective, which is cleaning the data, we will sort the product based on their revenue. So for example, we want to see which product generates the highest amount of revenue and which product generates the lowest amount of revenue, right? Basically sort them and identify which product is the best. Find the correlation between quantity and price. So basically this is an elasticity problem. We want to see whether the higher price leads to higher quantity purchased by the customers. Yeah, and visualize the trend of the sales in July 2022. So I set the period here. And then I want to produce the time series graph of the sales in this period. And the first step, we will import all the necessary packages. So uh, okay. And then we will read the file. So we set data equals to PD. Remember, pandas is for dealing with files, so we use PD here, pandas. PD read CSV, whatever the name, what is this? Whatever the name of the file is, right? So what is them? Just copy paste. And now we will do the first step, which is clean the data. So of course we will drop this row because it produced tons of meaningless values here. So clean data, we assign clean data equals to data dot drop now. Also we use drop now here. Drop now basically drops the meaningless columns. So we want to set subset equals to all the we want to include all the columns that has meaningless that might has meaningless data in this here assigned by subset. So this four missing values are in item price, quantity, transaction amount, and I remember it's time of sale. Yeah, time of sale. So I want to drop this. We want to drop this four values in this four columns, right? So okay. And then we want to first test whether the data is dropped or not. So we want to see the clean data. And let's run, let me run it in a new terminal. Okay, apparently it has been dropped. Yeah, no more missing values. Okay, so now we have the clean data, and then next we will sort the product based on their revenue. So first we have to group this data set by their item name first in order to do this. So group um, group by, this is a very useful group by name. And then we want to find the sum of the revenue generated by each product, right? So the revenue here in this case is transaction amount. So and now we will aggregate the data. Aggregate basically means summarize the data with certain statistical value. In this case, we use sum, right? Of course, you can use mean or standard deviation if you want, but I think sum in this case is most straightforward. And then now we have to sort this group data in a ascending order. So sort by sum. And let's see if it works. Okay, apparently you can see here, a sandwich generates the highest revenue, right? Followed by Frankie and cold coffee. So if you're a business, probably you will sell, you prefer to sell more sandwiches, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, now we have this. And then we want to find the correlation between quantity and price. Uh, so first we need to add the x and y variables into our correlation calculation. Our x and y variables, we need to add all the data in the x and y variables into a list. In this case, is all the data under the quantity and all the data under the item price. So we need to assign two lists first. So and then we want to add all these values into the list. But append means adding the values. Data in the data, which column is the quantity, right? So and then we do the same for the price list. Okay, now we have two lists, and then now we have to define the R correlation. So R represents correlation, R index, right? And then stats. We use linear regression for this example to calculate the correlation. And then we include this x and y list into here. So parentheses. So print. Okay. Sorry. So for this one, I forgot to use clean data. Let me change it. All right. Now it should be able to work. Uh, okay. As you can see here, our R value is 0.05. So it's not a strong correlation, right, between these two variables. So we got our R values here. Okay, so now we are going to produce a time series graph to visualize the trend of the sales in July 2022. The first step is to convert the date column into the date time format. and then we sort it, right? Sort based on the date time, right? So, um, clean data, date column equals to pandas dot to date time. Um, okay. And then sorted by date equals to clean. All right, let's run it. All right, as you can see here, we got everything sorted by the date. Okay. And then our next step is to, uh, as you can see here in our data, uh, it has years, months, and day, right? However, our objective is to only visualize the trend of the sales in July 2022. Only the month and year has been defined. But here we got tons of data, so we only want that specific periods. For the time's sake, I will just copy and paste the code from my note in order to show you how to extract the data only from that period of time. So here's the July data sorted by date, sorted by year, and then we got the column date. Here we only define the date to be the year to be 2022 and the month to be July, right? And then we will print the July data again. And let's check our July data. Now you can see we only got data in July 2022. Our next step is to produce a time series graph of the July data based on the date and the quantity sold, right? Okay, so now we will produce a bar time series graph. The x-axis represents a bar sorted by the date, and the y-axis represents the quantity sold on each day, right? So, uh, first of all, we have to group the July data by the day first. So we will use the same syntax that we used above. We just have to change the variables inside, right? So, July. All right. Okay, here's the July data with the sum of the quantity the quantity of the items sold on each day in July. First, we use pyplot dot bar graph, and then we use July group data as our index, and we index the July group data, and then the sum. Oh, right. So the sum column, because we want to show the sum of each day in July, the sum of the sales of each day in July. And then for the color, you can make it whatever you want. Make it sky blue. Okay. Uh, All right, and then we set the label, the X and Y label. So PLT the X X label will be date. Label is sales. And then we can also set the X and Y ticks. So font size of the X and Y ticks. I think yeah, 6, I remember. Okay. Um so for the x-axis, since we have a lot of days in July, right? Uh sometimes the ticks might overlap with each other. If it's overlapping, it's very hard to read, right? So we want to avoid that problem. So we want to uh rotate the x tick by 45 degrees. Uh so it appears vertically and then aligns to the right. So PLT done. Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah. Okay. Uh, okay. And then we tied the layout of this graph so it's more readable for the audience. And then we show the graph. Let me check if there's any syntax error. Let's test if it works. Say there's an error. Let me see. Let me check my note real quick. Ah, because sorry, this is a string. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now you can see we have our time series graph. You can see the trend, right? Of the cells. So yeah. Of course you can also see the title. I didn't add this time, but you can add it for yourself. Okay. Okay. Now today we meet all our objectives. Yeah, we clean the data set, we sorted the product based on the revenue, we found a correlation, and then we were able to visualize the sales in certain period of time. Uh, yeah, there are some key there are some key attributes, right? Like group by, sorted by, sorted by something sorted values, right? And append adding data into the list and blah blah blah. There are many. So yeah, I hope this video helps you to learn more about data science in Python, and we can apply it in a very practical way. Yeah, thanks for watching.